Hello, everyone, and welcome to another scene for Sept of the Howling Winds, Werewolf San Diego. In this scene, we have our very first rite of passage of the venue, and Lefty undergoing his rite of passage into the Children of Gaia. And we will begin our scene with Lefty already having been collected by uh, a servant of unicorn dove spirits. Um, And oddly enough, he can actually understand what they're saying, even though he doesn't have spirit speech. Go figure that. Um, he's being led through the Umbra to a spot very far away from San Diego, actually. Up in Northern California, in a very mountainous and wild area. Pull up the picture. Oh. Mountain. Forgot to actually put the pictures on Minicam. So this is what, and the umbral reflection looks very similar
Oh, cool.
to what it looks like. So
Yeah, Lefty's kind of amazed, like, whoa, as he's walking.
The dove spirits will motion for him to step sideways at this point. I'm not gonna make you roll. You can just step sideways. The gauntlet rating here is like 3.
Yeah, he will do so.
Because this is it. You don't see any Weaver influence in this place. None.
Damn, yeah, Jesus. He's looking around like, wow.
So yeah, you'll step sideways and you'll find yourself on the Tellurian side, right on the shore of the lake, mountains in the background and trees upon trees in front of you.
Yeah, let's have a small whistle, like, whew, wow. Kind of looking around because it's obviously quite daunting to be in a big, huge place like this. So he's like, whoa. So yeah, he'll kind of wander around, really. Just kind of, it's nice to be out in the woods. I'm assuming the weather is really nice. So yeah, he's just wandering around, really.
It's a bit chilly. It's not cold, at least not yet. But it's definitely much different than the 90 to 100 degree weather that has been in San Diego lately. It's probably, let's see, we'll say that it's mid-afternoon right now, so it's in the upper 60s with a cool breeze.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, very nice weather.
Yeah, he'll kind of mosey along, really, and kind of look for a place that's suitable. Maybe just maybe make a camp or something like that. Kind of, pre-planned, basically.
Okay. Roll me your wit survival, and you still, even though you are away from the sept, you still get the sept bonus because you're still a member of the sept, so you get your +1 survival.
Lovely. Where am I rolling this? Which dice roller?
The dice rolling scene's the first one.
Okay, I shall roll it now for you. So +1, survival is 2, so that's 6 dice. Three successes.
All right. You quickly find a place where that would make an acceptable camp that's not too far into the forest, but not right next to the water. And there's actually a little clearing in the trees where you can set up. I would assume that you brought your survival.
Yeah, all
survival
the gear.
Pop up tent and all that. So.
All the gear, yeah, he has all the gear with him. He's well prepared for this. He brought everything he could basically carry with him. So yeah,
there's a clearing that you can. There's a clearing you can come back to, and it's pretty much the perfect place to set up camp. It's, like I said, close enough to the water, but not right on the water where you'd be vulnerable. and you have the protection of the trees, but not too far into the forest where you're going to get lost.
Perfect. Yeah, you set up there and have everything kind of just pre-made and ready, for when he needs to do what he needs to do, and yeah, set up and sit down and kind of just enjoy himself. Really, it's nice.
Okay. You have a fairly uneventful first night. You hear, the normal sounds of the woods. You'll hear owls hooting, and you even hear wolf howl in the distance. Um, a lot of birds chirping, things like that. Crickets chirping, normal sounds that you would expect to hear in the woods at night. But you don't get any.
Lovely.
This first night, you don't get any feelings of dread or anything like that. You sleep relatively peacefully. It is cold at night. It drops to about 35 degrees.
Ooh. What Lefty will do is he will probably actually shift to lupus form most of the time during the night, just to keep up with that cold.
That is a fantastic idea. When you're in your lupus form, the cold does not bother you.
Perfect. Yeah. So once he realizes it's getting colder, he's like, "Oh, remember what Dallas said," and he will basically take the time to shift up into lupus and just sleep down in lupus form.
Perfect. You don't even really need a tent when you're in lupus.
Yeah, he just punks himself down in the grates, punk himself down in the leaves, quite happy.
So even though you did bring all this survival gear, you realize if I spend the nights in lupus, I really don't need a tent. I don't really need a sleeping bag. I don't really need some of this stuff. So
yeah.
So the night goes by uneventfully. I'm not going to make you roll anything. You're greeted with the sunrise the next morning, the sun shining down on you, birds chirping. So what are you going to do when you wake up?
So first thing he'll wake up, he'll probably actually stay in lupus form, because you know what? It's nice to be in lupus in this fucking mountain air. He will leave his tent there to kind of keep up the appearance that somebody's obviously camping here, and I think he'll just pad out by the lake and just kind of maybe basically just wander around really and kind of just enjoy it, enjoy being a wolf for a change.
Okay. The lake is relatively clear. You can see fish swimming underneath the surface. It's just extremely wild area, untouched by almost everything. Like, it's unlike anything you've ever seen before.
Yeah. To be honest, I think probably for about 2 hours he'll just sit and watch everything and just be like, "This is what it is, man." You know what I mean? It's that type of thing. It's like, this is why we're Garu, man. It's that type of thing.
All right. Go ahead and roll me your perception alertness.
I shall.
And you are in lupus, so remember it's a -2.
That's 2 successes.
All right. You hear rustling in the trees behind you.
Yeah, the wolf head will slowly spin around, very alert, almost kind of like, "Whoa, what?" Turn around slowly.
There is... You can sense that, even without a primal urge roll, you can sense that this is a prey animal. And you are feeling kind of hungry. It's been a while since you've eaten.
Oh yeah, I can imagine it is. Yeah. So the wolf lips will lick hungrily, and he will pad his way over very carefully to the whistling sound.
Okay. Roll me your dex stealth.
Just double check what my dex is in loops again. It is that, and my stealth is 2. Lovely. That is 3 successes.
Okay. Let me roll this thing's perception alertness. It also gets 3 successes, but you are the defender because you're stealthing. So, it's a little bit on alert, but you managed to, creep up. and what you see is a rabbit, but it's a little bit bigger than the rabbits you're used to seeing around Sept.
Hmm.
And it's sniffing the air, and it's got its ears twitching, but for the most part, it's just kind of sitting there, just behind the tree line. Like it's maybe heard you and it was investigating what the noise was, something.
Oh yeah. So what Lefty will do is he'll practice that pounce and leap, and he'll just crouch down low, and he's gonna just go for it because food and I gotta eat. So he's gonna jump at it. Like the scene from
Make
Lion
me
King.
a Dex Athletics roll with your
All
stealth
right.
dice.
I guess I might roll with my stealth dice. Lovely. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
All right, you catch it. You just leap right on top of this rabbit and you catch it within your paws, and you can do whatever you want with it. I'm not gonna make
Yeah,
you roll.
he'll just straight bite to the throat, over very quickly, no suffering, and he would just munch down on it. Raw meat is probably the best meat for a guru, I would imagine. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, especially a Guru in lupus form, the raw meat is fucking savory.
Yeah,
And
he
this
chows
is
down.
and this rabbit has not been around anything contaminated. It has not drank any contaminated water like rabbits in the city would have. It tastes just so much better than anything you've ever had in the city.
Oh yeah, no, he savors every second, every scrap of meat. Practically the rabbit is bone. I can imagine not used to having this luxury.
Yep.
He spends a good time chowing down on this fine meal.
Okay, so you have the rabbit, and that sates your hunger for a little bit, but you're gonna have to eat again soon. Do you go a little bit farther into the forest to see what other
He,
animals you can find?
he will explore, keeping a good distance away because he knows some animals are freaked out by him. So he will pad in, but keep a respectable distance.
And as you're padding through the forest, you do notice some birds flying away, and there are squirrels running around. That. Um, Roll me perception primal urge.
All right.
And
Okay. That's 3.
okay, you can smell a deer, and it's several yards away, but you can smell it.
Oh yeah, he take probably this big huge sniff, and he's like, "That can feed me for a while." It's that kind of like, "Oh, that's the big meat." So yeah, he'll begin to move a bit quicker, but again, keeping himself very quiet. After all, subtlety is the best
Okay.
thing.
Dex stealth, please.
Yes. Ow. That's 6 successes.
Holy shit, you are the knight. Not even gonna roll against that. The deer does not have enough dice to overcome that stealth roll. So, you with your hunger driving you, but also you're carefully calculating exactly what you need to do. You know that spook more you spook animals more easier than other Garu, so you're being extremely careful. Having probably eaten that rabbit first really helped so that you're not just lunging for this deer, but you just managed to very slowly and carefully, not stepping on any leaves or twigs that could alert your presence. And it takes you a good little bit, but you just keep following the scent of the deer. And you come upon a clearing in the forest, and there's a pond, just a small one, that the deer is now drinking from. and it is not even aware of your presence whatsoever.
Wow.
So I want you to roll your Dex Brawl plus your Stealth dice to attack this deer.
Okay, so 1, 2,
And
3,
it's a
4,
6-point buck.
6 point. Oh, wow, that's a big buck. Okay, so just making sure I'm doing my maths right. It is strength, dex is 5, 6 successes, is 11, and brawl is 2, that's 14. Oh, oops.
Oh, you forgot that. You forgot that forward.
Yeah, I'm so bloody computer betraying me halfway through. And I didn't roll a fucking D10.
You
God,
rolled a D. You rolled 14 D zeros. What the hell?
worst attack ever made. Anyway, that's
There you
cancel the nines.
go.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's 5.
Yep. Now roll damage.
Okay, so lupus is 3. And what's for biting lupus again? I can never remember. Is it just +1? I think.
+1, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
His bow's +2.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Yep, 3. That's enough to get it down. So you just pounce on this deer with skill and precision, and you jump on his back because it's got its head down in the water. So you jump on its back and bite the nape of its neck, which is enough to stun and startle it. So it's not going to fight you. It's not going to try and gouge you with its antlers.
Yeah, it's a quick kill, straight to the throat, rip it out. Basically, it bleeds out fast. Like, yeah, you just want to make this poor thing suffer. So quick kill very quickly. And he will chow the fuck down on this thing. Just strip it dry as much as basically until his belly is bloated nearly. He will just savor that meat.
And then, I mean, it is a very large deer, so you can eat quite a bit, but you're not going to finish it. Are you going to drag the carcass back to your campsite?
I will. Yes, very proud. Almost like when a dog has a stick. The way they're kind of wagging their tail very proudly. It's very like that.
Awesome. Okay. Oh, you managed to drag it back. And are you going to just leave this deer carcass there? Or are you going to shift up to Hamid to take care of the?
I will shift. I will relax. Yeah, I will relax. I will relax back into Hamid.
Yep. Relax into Hamid. Spend the rest of the day taking care of the deer carcass.
Yep, pretty much. Yep, taking very tender care, very slow, very deliberate. Just basically like Dallas taught him how to do, just meticulous and calm and collected.
Okay. Dex survival.
Okay. That's just the one success.
Okay, it takes you a long time. You get a few of the cuts wrong. You run into bone where you shouldn't. It takes you all the way because right now it's about noon. It's gonna take you all the way to sundown to finish this carcass. So yeah. But you do get it finished. You can do what you want with the bones.
He'll probably keep the bones to use, because bones crafting, it's always handy. Okay. Keep everything. Basically, everything goes to use. Basically.
So you're gonna put the bones in your bag.
Yeah, pretty much everything needs to be used in Lefty's mind. So he just puts the bones in his bags. It just basically leave nothing to waste, because Guy would probably be pissed at him if he did that in his mind. So he just leaves nothing to waste.
That's not a bad idea. All right. So, and how are you going to store the meat so that it doesn't attract other predators?
Mm. The meat's going to be the trickiest thing. So he kind of looks down and thinks to himself because he hasn't got any kind of like. Basically, what he will do is he will kind of cut the meat to like individual small packets, basically like
Hmm.
smaller dices. And out of the survival gear, you know those kind of like mini cooler, basically put it in the plastic cooling fridges. You know those like kind of mini like cooling.
Uh-huh.
He kind of put it into them basically, and basically he'll try to be meticulous as he can about it. So there's not a great concentration of meat. There might get the faint smell of meat, but nothing that will go, oh wow, there's a big load of meat over here. You know, it's that type of thing.
Okay. Yeah. I'll let you have that. Sure. Um. So, you got the meat stored and the bones put away, and by now it's getting pretty dark. Um. You turn in for the night, or are you gonna explore in the dark?
He will probably what he will do to save his curiosity, make sure the meat and all that is stored, the bones are safe, and he will pad down back into Lupus, and he will maybe potter around the woods for about an hour or two before he turns in for the night. You know, let's see what the woods like at night type of behavior. You know.
Okay. So I got a picture for the woods at night. Did it go? On a second. There it is. What name I put it under? What name? When I went to save it.
I do that all the time.
There it is. Like, what did I save this picture as? All right, here we go. The woods at night. You hear the same noises you heard the night before: owls hooting, crickets chirping, rustling of the leaves of the nocturnal animals. And it's dark, but you're in Lupus, so you can see a lot better than you would normally in Hamid. And you don't see, nothing coming after you tonight.
Yeah, he'll
Just,
probably just do his standard patrol just to be sure. To be sure, it's that type of thing. You know. And
oh
plus,
yeah.
woods at night are always interesting anyway. So he just has a lovely pan around basically.
But you do get this ominous feeling with the mist through the trees and it being dark and only the moonlight shining through the canopy. There's a bit of an ominous feeling there, but you don't get
Mhm.
any feelings of like dread or anything like that.
Yeah, it's probably very eerie, I would imagine. You know, it's always that kind of like, oh God. So, yeah, he'll patrol around for about an hour or two just to be safe because, you know, I've got to routinely check these things. And then eventually he will pad over on Lupus and stay close to his campsite where he can see it, but he'll pad just a bit away in the brush or anything else. So if someone does come, they don't see Lefty immediately. Yeah, almost. It's like being extra safe, basically.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Okay.
he will turn in for the night, having being a bit more safer than he normally would be about these things.
All right. So you go to sleep. Everything's fine, fairly soundly, but not so soundly that you couldn't hear if something was to come up to your camp.
Mm.
Um, Dawn breaks, the sun shines down on you, waking you up again. And you hear rustling next to your coolers.
Yeah, there's almost like that kind of moment where you kind of freeze just for that split second. Like the tail goes down, the eyes narrow a bit, and he kind of just keeps very still and almost waits to see if something comes into view, basically. But kind of almost ready if it comes at him, he's ready himself.
See anything quite yet. And Hang on, I want a picture for this because this is going to be funny. Oh, give me 1 second. Okay, so you see a raccoon that is trying to get the lid to your coolers open. As it can faintly
That's a great
smell.
picture.
I know, isn't it?
That's fucking brilliant. Lefty kind of immediately jump, and when a dog is kind of caught off guard, and you hear as he comes out, Lupus basically, barking quite rapidly.
The raccoon is startled, but it does not run away. It just kind of looks at you and gives you like this challenging stare.
Oh shit! It's about to
Because
go down.
raccoons are technically predators, so predators see you as a threat, as a challenge. So it gives you this challenging stare, though it's not like extremely aggressive, like it wants to fight you. It's just like, how dare you scare me like that? And I'm gonna have you some of this meat, whether you like it or not.
The fuck you gives you the fuck you doing, bro? Stare. That's great.
Yes, exactly. It does.
That's brilliant. I love that. So Lefty will what Lefty will do actually. He'll growl and pat his claws down like a dog. Like you ever see those mammoths do it? He'll basically put his claw on the ground and scrape down. So it shows how deep his claws go. Basically, it's almost if this is what I can do to you, back off. Basically,
Give me charisma intimidation.
I shall. Squaring off against Raccoon. This is great. That's 3 successes.
Okay, let me roll this thing's willpower.
I kind of hope it passes because that would be so good.
Nope, it doesn't. You bare your teeth and growl at it and, stand your ground. And it gets this oh shit look on its face and scampers off into the trees.
Yeah, you hear basically Lefty's those when a dog, when things run away, the dog keeps barking. Basically in his tongue is like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker, it's my meat. He's doing soft little chirps and howls. Basically, quite delighted that he intimidated the raccoon because, yeah, he doesn't get to intimidate the dog. Yeah.
So I imagine now that you've had your morning. Like, goddamn. So, are you gonna have breakfast?
Yeah, he's gonna have a very rewarding breakfast for himself. He'll shift up the hammock and he'll eat the meat, feeling oddly very proud of himself. He's like, "Yeah, I'm the top dog in this place. That's me." His ego is fully boosted now.
That's awesome. The rest of the morning passes relatively uneventfully. If you're sitting watching the lake, you see like the fish kind of jumping in and out of the water and stuff like that. Are you gonna walk the shoreline today and see where you can
Yes.
actually? Why don't you roll me perception alertness and it's sight based?
Okay, I shall. I'm back in the hammock, so let's post the count. That is 3 successes.
Okay. So yeah, if you look off into the distance of this lake, you can actually kind of far away see a waterfall.
Wow. Okay. What Lefty will do, seeing the waterfall, he'll actually get a big smile on his face, and he's going to shift his location towards the waterfall. So, picking up all the
Okay.
stuff and not leaving anything behind, he'll begin to hike towards the waterfall with a big, actually very happy smile. He hasn't been this happy in a long ass time. One,
Awesome.
skipping through the woods basically like a happy child.
Um, you got a pretty clear line of sight to the waterfall, so I'm not going to make you roll any survival rolls to get there. But it takes you a good portion of the day to hike to the waterfall. It's a few miles.
Oh yeah, I think the day will spent whistling and singing as he's wandering. I think for Lefty, this is probably what he needed to have since the whole Robin event. So he's quite happy with himself wandering away from society for a while.
And every once in a while, you will see a dove pass by you, as if you've got somebody watching what you're doing. And it's just, and it gives you a coo as it passes by.
He'll smile to himself and we'll keep walking.
And yeah, so the good portion of the day is spent walking to the waterfall. You're taking in the sights. You can hear, the closer you get, the rushing of the water off the waterfall and the current into the lake.
Yeah, he kind of stares at it, and what he will do. How steep is that? I imagine fairly steep, right, for a waterfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
If you were to go, like, it would probably take, if you wanted to go to the top of the waterfall, it would take you a whole day just to get up there.
Lefty will look at it with a big smile on his face, and what he would do is he would set camp just a bit away from the base of the waterfall, and
Okay.
reset up basically, and he will spend the night. And tomorrow, well, he knows what he's doing the whole day. With this big determined grin on himself.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll go ahead and roll me with survival so you can find a good place to camp.
Yes. That is 2 successes this time.
It takes you a little bit longer than the first time, perhaps because you're just in a different area. But you do find a good spot to camp that's a bit away from the water, but not too far into the trees. Kind of a same type of area. It's a little bit more dense. It's not quite as cleared. Shouldn't have a problem sleeping there in Lupus.
Oh yeah, no, he'll set up kind of like this mini campsite to make it look like if anyone passes by, he's just some hiker sleeping there, and he will shift into Lupus, and we'll just pad down around and basically have a nice long sleep because he knows he's going to need his rest if he wants to do what he wants to do tomorrow, basically.
Yes. And you hear different sounds over here. You still hear the same sounds you heard, but the owls hooting and the crickets chirping and things like that. But you also hear the steady rush of the water from the waterfall, and it's really relaxing. You've heard the rush of the waves in the ocean, but this is different.
Yeah, it's probably the first time he sleeps really well because the levels of relaxation here he's probably never gotten quite used to sleep on the streets and stuff like that. You always have to kind of have an open mind about it. So I'm sure the further one couple these past 3 or 4 nights he's been here are the most relaxed sleep he's ever had.
Here's a picture of the waterfall.
Oh wow, that's cool as shit. That's really cool.
So yeah, the night's uneventful. You wake up the next day. There are no raccoons trying to get your shit.
They learn not to mess with King Lefty in his domain.
Although
That's
you
what they
do
learn.
have a bird that is really curious. It's not the doves. It's not any. It's just kind of a common Oh, we'll just say it's a crow. You have a crow that is just kind of watching. It's not really trying to get into anything, but it's just kind of really curious about what what is going on here because you can tell that the creatures around here are used to seeing wolves.
Lefty kind of looks at it as he relaxes up into Hamid. And he won't bother it because he knows animals run away from him. So he's going to let it be sus as fuck of this guy. Let it be sus as fuck as him. He'll begin packing
Yeah,
up the stuff, making sure it's strapped to him very tightly.
I'll
You
just go
know?
ahead and use my picture that I used for my crow slash ravens.
Yeah, that's the look it's giving him. Like, the fuck are you?
It's like, what are you? Why are you here? Why are you
Yeah.
in my forest? Oh.
That's fuck, I love that picture so much. But yeah, he'll let the crow keep giving him that really eerie stare, and pack up his stuff and make sure it's strapped to him quite firmly.
It's for some reason it doesn't seem to be too afraid of you. It's kind of looking at you like if maybe you're gonna give it something.
He'll smirk. What he'll do is he'll reach into his bag and take out one of the chunks of meat and we'll just gently put it down in front of it and smile at it.
The bird squawks at you in approval and um, it jumps like right on top of the meat and begins to shred it with its beak.
Lefty smiles to himself as successfully he has paid tribute to the creepy crow, basically, and he'll smirk a bit and he'll kind of nod respectfully at it. He's obviously satisfied this fine beast, with a big smile on his face.
Yes. And yeah, it stays there eating the meat as you make your way around to the waterfall, to the top of the waterfall.
Yeah, Lefty will climb that thing like a motherfucker. What he actually might do, seeing as he's noticed he does have one advantage over some of the other wolves on Sept, he will use that little merit of his mix morph. He will attempt to shift his hands into Krynos claws to climb up the mountain, basically.
Okay. That would be your stamina primal urge at diff 6 instead of 9.
All right, let's do this. That's 2 successes.
Oh, you got it. Yep. You managed to grow your Krynos claws from your humid hands.
He'll smirk to himself like, yeah, and start climbing up the mountain.
I need, let's see, for climbing, you're using more strength than dex. So make me a strength athletics roll.
All right. Do I get any bonus because I'm basically using Krynos claws to dig into the rock, basically?
You have a diff 5.
All right, let's try this. That's 2 successes.
Good job. It takes you a bit, but you managed to climb up this basically this rock that's kind of it's part of the mountain, but it's not quite as tall as the rest of the mountains. It takes you a good couple of hours, but you climb up the top. If you had gone around to walk up, like find a path or something, it would have taken you a lot longer. But
you get
to
the
top.
Yeah.
And
once he's on the top, he'll have this big triumphant grin on his face.
And you'll see the same view as you look across.
Wow. So what Lefty will do, he'll drop his bag down and he will relax into Hispo and he will let a long, triumphant howl. Almost becoming one with the nature, if you get what I mean. They have this big, huge howl of just pure joy and triumph, basically.
Yep. You shift to Hispo, make your howl. You see birds flying up out of the trees in the distance. But then you hear a howl back.
Oh.
It's pretty far away. but you hear a howl back.
Oh. Understand at all what it's saying, or
For right now, it's a normal howl, so your assumption that right now it might just be a normal wolf,
hmm.
but you haven't seen any other wolves around here.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, his curiosity is definitely piqued. So what he will
But if you
do is
remember, the first day you were here, you did hear a faint howl in the distance.
exactly, yeah, yeah, definitely. So what he will do, probably basically not to rush it because you never know. He will relax up to Hamid and carry his bag and follow in the direction of where that howl went, moving slowly but kind of cautiously at first.
Well, the climb down is going to take you much longer than the climb up, and by the time you
I
get
can,
back to the base of
I
the
can,
waterfall, it's going to be dark.
I can imagine. So yeah, yeah, I can imagine he comes back down. And is like, this was not such a good idea. But anyway, he's like, God damn it. So what he will do is he'll maybe spend an extra hour just padding away from the water, and then he'll camp up basically.
Okay. You can easily find the spot or near the spot you were the previous night.
Yeah, and he'll make
Um,
sure he's fast asleep this time in lupus form. So basically, what he'll do is he can get up earlier and find the direction where this howl came from. Basically,
the night's peaceful. You wake up, and I need you to roll me perception alertness, hearing based.
okay. That with the lupus bonus is 4 successes.
Okay. You hear something near the water and the waterfall, and whatever the something is big.
Whoa. Almost immediately, yeah, he kind of rolls over and listens. And what he will do is take slow, slow pads towards it's still in lupus form. Slow pads just to kind of poke out of the trees just to see if you can see what the fuck that is.
You see. Oh, I forgot to put the picture up. Hang on. You see that.
Whoa. Fuck. Oh god.
You see it standing. It's not next. I couldn't find it. I didn't find a picture next to the water, but it is next to the water, and it is attempting to fish.
Wow. Okay.
Well, sorry about that. It is attempting to fish, and you can hear it making its low bear sounds. Uh, but I would guess that Lefty's probably never seen a bear in person before.
Nope. Nope. He's amazed. Like the wolf was kind of sat there, awestruck. Like, wow, a real bear. It's like Jesus. You know what I mean? Just staring wide eyed at it, almost in reverence, and you're like,
Mhm. Now I'm gonna roll to see if this bear notices you. Yes. So the bear, as you're sitting watching the bear, it stops and it turns and it looks at you and it gives a curious cock of its head.
the wolf will probably return the same thing. They both kind of twist their head looking at each other, that type of thing. Like,
But it doesn't seem to be put off by you like other predators would. And it starts slowly padding towards you.
He'll gently kind of rise from its sitting position. The wolf will kind of just sit there slowly, not barking off, but kind of just sitting there, kind of waiting almost like, what the hell? It's coming towards me.
The bear just slowly and steadily moves toward you. And then it sits right across from you and snorts as if it's trying to communicate.
Huh.
Roll me. Let's see. You only have one dot of Garrulor. So roll me your intelligence Garrulor at diff 8.
Okay. Nope, this straight fail.
Okay. Yeah. Ugh. So you comb your memory, but there's just you can't seem to remember anything. But you do know that this is weird. So roll now perception primal urge.
Okay. I think with the lupus bonus, that's 2 successes.
Yes. With 2 successes, you feel that this creature is different than normal creatures. You almost feel a connection to it.
Huh. What Lefty will do is he'll pad over, but right beside the bear, and almost make the same sort of noise it's making, and kind of almost just kind of dip its head, and the lupus head will dip its head almost in acknowledgement, like like a sort of like greeting, basically.
It notices the greeting. And it makes a glyph in the sand of the beach that you recognize.
He'll stare at it and look at the bear and just give one nod of his lupus head.
Once it's established a quote common, you will notice the bear will shift.
Whoa, it's okay.
And it's taking its time. While I find a picture of this bear's homid form. Oh, here we go. This one will work. It shifts into a human form.
Whoa. So once he sees that, the lupus eyes kind of widens, like, what? And he will take the time to relax into Hamid as well.
He says, "Don't often see your kind here."
He'll give a small smirk. Yeah, we're mostly by the city these days.
He nods. I hope I didn't scare you.
Not at all. I've never seen a bear before. He'll smile kind of awkwardly.
Well, I'm no ordinary bear. And with Garrulor 1, you have vaguely heard of other shifters. Vaguely. Like, this stirs somewhere in your memory that there are other shifters out there, but you've never met one.
He'll just nod. I see. Well, I think you can tell I'm no ordinary wolf. And you'll kind of still assume this guy is obviously a bit more, around the way than he is. So he'll be kind of a bit more kind of like, when another dog meets another dog and they're kind of a bit more lower, basically. Lefty will still be kind of like that because that cub just kicks in naturally, you know.
Oh yeah. He smiles. I know. You're Geru. I am what they call Grawl.
Right. It's a pleasure to meet you. Smile. Do you do like we do with rank and introductions and all that? And kind of asks awkwardly, rubbing his head.
Sort of. They call me Protects the Weak.
Huh. Just nod. I'm Lefty. I haven't earned a name like that yet.
You will. You're young, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm a cub. I'm on my Rite of Passage.
Let me guess. Probably one of the more wild tribes.
Hoping for Children of Gaia. If you know them.
He nods. I actually heard that there would be one of you coming up here for that purpose. Word travels.
Smirk. Well, I didn't think it
You
was that
have
important.
you have an interest in healing, do you not?
He'll nod.
Well, just so happens that my kind are an entire species of healers. That's what Girl do. We heal, we protect. So if you'd like, I could show you a few things.
I'll
Maybe
be
show you
honored.
how to and maybe show you how to catch fish.
I'll be honored. He smiled quite warmly.
It's not often I open myself up to a Geru, but you seem like a good kid.
He kind of gives a kind of smile. I try.
As for rank, I think I'm the equivalent of what you call Athro.
Wow. He kind of immediately, the formality kicks in as he kind of presents his throat almost immediately.
He actually chuckles at that and he's like, no, you don't need to do that.
Sorry. Kind of all that, formalities and that.
I understand, but we don't really do that. It's all right, though. Think of me, I suppose you can think of me as sort of a mentor. How long you here for?
However long it takes, apparently. You smile to become a child of Gaia. You kind of give that awkward smile.
He'll nod. Well, you're welcome to spend the next couple of days with me, and I can show you what I know about this place, this beautiful place.
Yeah, I'd be honored to learn. You smile really enthusiastically.
He then shifts back into his bear form. And though you
Lefty will
can't
shift back.
though you can't really communicate as far as like, the Geru tongue and their tongue are different, you can still pick up his body language and things like that. So you can definitely understand what he's trying to convey to you, especially since you do feel this connection to this other shifter. It's a little easier to kind of get what he's trying to convey to you. So the next couple of days, he'll teach you how to fish. We can actually play out a fishing session if you'd like.
That would be cool. That would be funny as hell. Yes, that would be great.
You'll notice that for fishing, it's much easier to use your claws. So you might guess that it would be a good idea to fish in Kranos.
Yeah, Did you know what? The Kranos Lefty will totally fish with the gigantic werebear. Yes, totally.
You are in your Krynos form. You are as tall as this bear is. Um, so, for fishing, roll me Dex survival, please.
All right. This is going to be great. That's 7 with a 7 bonus. That is just the one. That's actually no successes. The Krynos Lefty is flopping around the water uselessly.
That's fantastic. So you're like, he's like in the water and he's trying to get these fish. These fish are you know, he shows you to wait until they jump up so that you can catch them, but you're just a little bit too impatient for that. And they're just like barely out of the water before you're going for them, and you're just not having a good time. And you can swear that you almost hear this bear laughing at you.
The water-soaked Krynos from his Lefty is just grumbling, stupid fish. You know what I mean? He's patting him back.
You feel this massive paw on your shoulder, and it's almost as if he's telling you to relax.
And he'll nod, listening, and he'll see the determination in the Krynos eyes, like, I'm gonna get me a fish. He'll sit there waiting, you know what I mean, with this really determined stare,
Okay, so go. Roll your Dex Athletics again. Or Dex,
right.
Yeah, Dex Athletics.
Dex Survival.
Or Dex Survival, sorry. Your Dex Survival.
There you go. That's 3 successes.
Better. You got 3 successes that time. So you you get the calming touch from the bear, and you just center yourself and realign, and then you catch like 4 fish in a row.
Yeah, he'll turn and look at the guy and be like, "Yeah, I did it!" You know what I mean? The Krynos hands lift up the air victoriously with the fish.
Like you've got fish skewered on your claws and you've lifted them in the air victoriously.
Yeah, he's looking at him like really happy, like, "I did it, Dad! I did it!" You know what I mean?
The bear, you actually see the bear take its paws and clap its hands together.
He'll pat over really excitedly, like, see that, really enthusiastically.
So you fished with the bear. The bear takes you behind the waterfall and into its cave. And invites you to sleep there for the night.
He will, bow very deep in acknowledgement and thank him for that, and he will sleep quite happily in the bear's cave. Early.
Protects the Weak does not shift to Hamid for sleeping. You can tell that he is very comfortable staying in bear form.
Yeah, I can imagine. Lefty just does it because, you know what? I've never slept in a cave before. Let's do it in Hamid form. Let's see what this is like. And he just really enthusiastically plants down, basically.
There are piles of vegetation for you to sleep on. He has got all kinds of things in there to make himself comfortable, especially since he stays in bear form. During the winter, he does hibernate. So, but it is of course summer, so he's obviously not hibernating. And you eat your fill of fish, and you go to sleep for the night, and you hear the rush of the waterfall. You hear the bear snoring. The bear snores kind of loud. Probably not the best sleep you've ever gotten, but it's still, you're out in the wilderness. You've just met a bear shifter.
Yep.
Who's invited you to its cave. Although there is a small part of you that is worried that it might eat you.
A tiny bit. Yes, there's a tiny bit.
The next day, you wake up. You wake up a little later than you had been because you're in a cave where it's dark. The sun is not shining down on you to wake you up.
He'll just wake up and
You
stretch
wake
and
up to
look around.
you wake up to the bear nuzzling you with its nose.
He'll smile quite fondly, and nuzzle him back, basically.
Now, I want you to roll your perception alertness.
Yes.
I'm going to roll the bear's perception alertness as well.
Botch. I botch.
Oh.
Probably still. I'm half asleep, probably. Like, oh, what?
Yep. You are extremely asleep, so we'll see if. Oh, yeah.
Damn.
So you don't hear a damn thing. In fact, you think that everything's fine and there's nothing happening. However, Protects the Weak gets an extremely concerned look on his face, and he bolts out of the cave.
Yeah, Lefty immediately looks up, and once Protects the Weak bolts out, he'll immediately relax down into Lupus and run out after him, basically.
Well, you got to shift to Lupus because you can only relax to Hamid because you're.
Oh yeah, I'll shift. I'll shift to Lupus, basically.
If you want to shift, if you want, it takes. If you want to shift more immediately, you can roll your what is it? It's stamina primal urge. Yeah.
We'll
and shifting to Lupus is diff 6.
I will give it a try. No. Nope.
No, you don't. Okay, so the bear's gone, and you're taking a long time to shift into Lupus.
Can I spend a rage to shift to Lupus?
You sure can.
I will spend that rage and move quite quickly into Lupus form.
Okay, so you tried to will yourself into Lupus form, and it just wasn't happening. So you spend that rage to immediately shift and follow Protects the Weak. He's not quite as fast as you are because he is a bear, but he's still moving pretty quickly. It takes you a little bit to get caught up.
Bears can move pretty quick, so Lefty's not surprised that he can move like a lightning bolt as well.
But he is moving into the forest with this determination on his face. And roll me your perception alertness again.
Okay. That is nope. Fail again. Nope. Jesus Christ! All the bad rolls are coming out now.
You don't understand what's happening, but you are still just following. You just aren't hearing anything. So you run for a little while, and then all of a sudden the bear just stops.
Yeah, Lefty skids to a halt immediately and kind of gives him a look, like twisting his head, like looking at him, trying to convey what's going on.
The bear has a distressed look on his face, and he's stopping, listening. You roll perception alertness one more time.
All right, Lefty, we can do this. There we go. That's 4 successes.
Yay! So now you can hear, now that you're closer, you can hear what the bear hears. And it is a distress call from another predator animal. It's not a wolf or anything like that. Maybe it's a big cat? Yeah, we'll say it's a big cat. A distress call from a big cat. And you can tell that it's just a normal cat, probably a mountain lion, since we are in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And as he listens to the direction, and then he goes again.
Yeah, Lefty will take off as well. Now, aware of what's going on, he'll move with a lot more speed, and urgency.
You get to this clearing that's kind of far away from the waterfall. You've been running a long time. There is a mountain lion laying there, and it is clearly in distress. Do you have a medicine score?
Let me see. I have 1 level of medicine.
Okay. Perception medicine.
Okay. That is 2 successes
Okay.
with this lupus bonus.
You see that this mountain lion has a broken leg.
Oh. What Lefty will do then is he'll pad over very gently, very, very gently, and kind of almost like look to the bear as well to kind of just motion over slowly. Does the lion react negatively towards me at all as I'm coming over towards it?
It's agitated because it is just a normal mountain lion, but it's not in any shape to run away. It will make a an aggressive growl and snarl at you, but the bear just looks at you and then looks at the animal, and even though it's in your presence, you have Mark of the Predator. It seems that the bear's presence is a bit more overwhelming, and it immediately calms the cat. And the cat just, you know, the bear hasn't even touched the cat yet. Just with the look that it has, it's calming. And even you feel calmer.
Yeah. So can I see how it broke its leg? Is there a rock on it or anything like that, or is it just kind of fallen in an awkward angle?
You could
From what I'm seeing.
you could probably guess that it was from a fall. Like it slipped out of the tree or something that it was in, and it fell at just the wrong angle.
Yeah, yeah. How badly does this thing look broken when I get a bit closer now and take a look at it?
It's it's not like broken in half. The bone's not sticking up out of it, but it's it's maybe, let's see, you got 2 successes.
Yeah.
You can probably guess that it's a back leg and it's broken at like where the elbow would be or the knee.
Ooh.
So it's like comes separated. Yeah, and the animal is in a lot of distress. However, the bear, he kind of looks at you as if he wants you to pay attention to what he's doing.
Lefty will nod immediately, like glued to what he's doing. If anyway, basically in any way he can help out with this person, you know.
The bear goes over to the cat, and I want you to roll me your perception primal urge.
Okay. That's 2 successes with lupus.
You can tell that there is a gift or something being used. The bear spends gnosis and licks the leg of the cat. Very gently, just keeps licking it for just a few seconds. And then steps back. And then the cat stands up and bounds away.
Yeah, Lefty's eyes are wide, like, wow. He'll kind of turn his head, like looking curiously at the bear, basically.
The bear will shift down to Hamid.
Yeah, Lefty will relax to Hamid.
And he says, what I just used is a gift that my people share with your people. And I can teach you this gift if you'd like.
He'll nod immediately. That is, yeah, anything to help. So yeah, totally.
You will remember Dazzle's telling you about Mother's Touch.
Yes, and he's seen it being used a few times actually with Kyle. Actually, he's used it 1 or 2 times.
And everyone has their different ways to use it. Some just simply touch, some will lick. It just depends. Um, the bear obviously prefers to lick. So, and he'll say, just a touch will do, but I find it a bit more intimate to lick the where person or animal or whatever it is you're healing. It seems a bit more nurturing to me to lick them. But it's completely
Nod.
up to you. All
Nod
you
and
have to
understanding.
do is touch where, not even where the target or the thing that you're healing is uh, hurt. You just need to touch them. You need that physical contact. And he will sort of take your hand,
Mm-hmm.
and you can feel sort of his energy, as you will, projecting into Lefty. You feel this surge going through you and this overwhelming, calming energy. And he says, I need you to close your eyes and meditate. Channel your gnosis.
He'll nod and sit down immediately and cross-legged and will meditate.
And after about, go ahead and roll me your wits enigmas.
Okay. I don't have enigmas. I just have wits, so I'm assuming it's a higher difficulty, right?
You're not technically supposed to be able to roll it because it's a knowledge, but I will let you have it at diff 7.
Okay.
Just for the purposes of this.
Straight wits. That wow, three successes.
Nice. Okay. So you sit there and you meditate. You're channeling your gnosis. He's still got a hold of your hands. And he gifts you with a temporary point of gnosis. So you have one extra gnosis point to spend. Probably for the purposes of him teaching you to use this gift. That way you have an extra gnosis to spend on healing the next thing.
Totally, yeah.
So he's going to tell you now. There's something injured in this forest almost every day. So it's a good chance that tomorrow we'll find something else that needs to be healed. And I want you to test and see if you've properly taken in what I'm teaching you to heal the next one.
He'll nod. Okay.
And he says, he looks around. It's getting a bit late. I don't think we'll make it back to the cave. We can just stay in this clearing tonight.
Yeah, that's fine. He'll just nod.
And so he'll shift back to his bear form.
Yeah, Lefty will stay sleeping. Hamid, after all, it'll take him. He'll probably take. Eventually, he'll take the time to shift to Lupus, but he'll just sit there for a while, just kind of processing what he learned. Basically, he'll just sit down.
Night falls. The bear sleeps. The snoring is not quite as loud because it's not echoing off. It's not echoing off of the cave walls, so it's absorbed a little bit more into the night air as the bear snores. You hear the owls again and the crickets. A very peaceful night. The next day, you wake up before the sun, actually, and you have this feeling that something is wrong. roll me. Let's see what would be the best for this. Perception primal urge. Yeah, that would be the best for that.
That is, Jesus Christ, that's 4 successes with the lupus bonus.
Okay, you have this feeling that there's just something wrong. You can't quite place it, but it feels very personal.
Yeah, probably he'll make motions to kind of tap the bear with his muzzle, basically, but it will immediately be setting off. Like, he basically wait till the bear opens his eyes, and the bear will see Lefty tearing off into that basically direction where he can feel like something's wrong, looking around almost.
It's back towards the water, but it's a little bit farther downstream. You follow this feeling, and as you get a little ways, Protects the Weak is following you, wondering what is going on because he doesn't understand right now. So it's sort of reverse of what it was the day before. And I want you to roll perception alertness, hearing based.
Okay. That is 4 successes again in lupus.
All right. You hear a distress howl of a wolf, and you can actually make out it's not just a normal wolf howl. There is someone saying, "Help me," in Garu tongue.
Yeah, he'll turn and look at Protects the Weak and just immediately just say, basically with the kind of the head, like, follow me. Basically, he'll see the panic look on his face and begin tearing full speed towards that direction, basically, very, very fast.
And you're running, and you get to an edge where you can see down towards where the lake runs into a river. And along the riverbed, not the riverbed, along the bank of the river, there are some rocks. And there is a wolf. Pull up the picture. Second. Did I not save it? Hang on. Didn't save it. Hang on 1 second. The picture of the wolf will be standing up, but you'll see the wolf laying on the rocks. 1 second. This is what the wolf looks like. You see this wolf laying on the rocks, and it is just howling in pain. And it is Garu. And
Yeah,
you can
immediately
recognize the form is similar, and the coloring is similar to that of blue.
Yeah, he'll make a dart, like basically darting through the gaps to get as close down as he can in lupus. Moving quite fast, telling Blue in Garo speak, "Stay still, I'm coming. Don't move. Just hold on."
It's not blue, but the wolf looks similar to blue.
Oh, yeah, no,
You,
basically, he'll tell the wolf, "Stay there, I'm coming." You know what I mean? Very nervous, basically.
the wolf looks startled to hear another Garu. Who's there?
They call me Lefty. I'm from Steps of the Howling Winds.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
We're here to help. So I need you to stay still. I'm coming down, and you'll be fine.
The wolf tries to move, but she howls in pain.
Yeah, he'll immediately kind of pad down beside her, basically, once he gets to her, and where's the wound? Probably on her leg or something?
Um, she has a gaping wound in one of her legs.
Ooh.
She can't move either of her back legs, though.
Ooh. So immediately Lefty arrives, like, there, and he'll kind of pad over and look at her up and down. What happened?
I lost where I was going. I've been in this forest 100 times, but I wasn't paying attention and I fell off the ledge. And she looks up, and you can see this cliff sticking out over really high up.
Ooh, yeah. So he'll
She
nod
keeps
once. It's like, all right.
whimpering and howling. You don't smell any active purebreed on her, but from her markings, you can tell that she was born Uktena.
Tenna. So he'll just nod once. Right. I'm gonna heal that gaping wound in your thing, okay? I need you to stay still. He'll smart. The wolf will kind of nod and like pat against her nose, almost like attempting, like, everything's gonna be fine.
And if you look up, you can see that Protects the Weak has not come down to join you. He is just watching. And let me pull up the gift real quick, because I'll have you use it.
Mother's touch.
Okay, you'll spend a Gnosis point and roll Intelligence Empathy. Difficulty is the target's current rage, or 5 for those with no rage. So, your difficulty is going to be 3.
Okay. Bam. 4 successes.
All right. Tell me how Lefty will heal the wolf.
He will pad over actually no, that's 5 actually, because if you're rage 3, damn Jesus. Okay, complete success. So he will pad over very tenderly, very slowly. And that gaping wound, he will, with his lupus tongue, will lick all along it very slowly, very carefully, taking his time, making sure that every part of that wound is closed and healed. And he'll almost be sort of slowly humming as well, slowly like howling, basically humming, almost like Dazzles used to do whenever he used to hurt himself on the ground. Basically, she would heal him and hum very gently, I'm imagining. So he will do probably the same thing, adopt that very father-like figure, basically, and will just lick the wound gently closed.
Yep, you've healed all of her levels of damage. She had 5 lethal, so
Wow.
You healed all of her levels of damage, and she closes her eyes, and you can hear her distress getting less and less as you're healing her. And she then stands up, and then she looks at you rather fearfully, even though she's another Garu.
There's no reason to fear me. The wolf will kind of dip, nodding.
You can tell that she's struggling with something.
And you look at her. Why don't we go to someplace a bit more quieter, and we'll calm ourselves down, and we'll talk about it a bit more then. Where
She'll reluctantly nod and follow you back.
He'll probably lead her to the cave, and he'll look at Bites the Weak, almost slowly nodding, like I've got this. If you get what I'm saying,
Protects the Weak will just let you go, and he, even though bears don't have a lot of facial expressions, but if Lefty looks, he's pleased.
Yeah, Lefty will just nod. Keep walking, and he will turn to her. Are you Hamid-born, Lupus, or Metis?
Lupus.
He'll just nod. Would you prefer me to stay in Lupus?
Yeah.
His lupus head will just dip and nod, going, I understand, nodding. And he will pad into the cave and will sit down in front of her and turn very slowly, still keeping this very relaxed, because he knows he can't smile in Lupus, so he'll keep this very relaxed dip.
He can hang his
Now,
tongue out. That's kind of
yeah, he'll hang his tongue out. Now,
She is still very cautious.
why don't you tell me what's after happening?
I live alone. Um, I was exiled
From where?
from my sept. It's actually not very far from here, just like 50 miles or so.
Where were you exiled?
I had a relationship with a black spiral dancer.
Yeah, he sucks in the breath. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, fuck. Whew. There's this. you know.
They called me Shames the Nation.
Shames the nation.
And I'm a Theurge Ronin.
Why did you have this relationship with the spiral?
Because he was different. He joining them and he was trying to redeem himself, but my people wouldn't have it.
Just be cautious. I am going to roll the truth of Gaia because you got to
Oh
be sure
yeah,
about these things.
that's completely fine. That is a Philodox thing to do.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I'm a Philodox, so I gotta think. So it's intelligence, empathy, I believe. For truth of Gaia.
Quick. Let me look real quick. Let me pull up Philodox gifts. Truth of Gaia. Yes, intelligence, empathy.
Okay, I will roll.
Difficulty equals the subject's manipulation subterfuge. So minimum diff is 3, so 3.
Extra again. It's not coming up for me. That's really weird. Yeah, no, not coming up for me. That's odd.
What, dice roller?
Yeah. It's there, the bot's active, but it's not registering my roll. Now I'll try it in dice roller too.
I don't see that you've rolled anything, so could be Discord lagging.
It probably is. Let me see. It's probably Discord lagging behind. What I'll do is I'll reload it just to be safe.
Okay. Yeah, I'll reload mine too.
Is yours coming back for you?
Mine's up. How many dice do you have?
5 dice. Mine's telling me it's a temporary outage or something where I am, so probably just the network servers probably down for the European. It's 5 dice.
Uh-oh.
No, nothing?
Nope.
Oh, it's not coming up. The roller's not coming up for you either?
I put in the amount of dice, but it's not rolling.
Oh, it's probably doing the lag out thing again.
Wonder if it's doing the update that it did for a couple people, the like Elwad and others a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Wonder if it's doing that for us now. Oh wait. So, let me think. Let's find a. We can find a dice roller online to use. Okay. I need d10s. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes on Truth of Gaia.
Okay. So how truthful is she being?
She is telling you the truth. She has no reason to lie. She's out here on her own, living by herself. She has no reason to lie to you.
He'll just nod once, not questioning her, not asking is she lying. He'll just nod, like, okay, you know. And when that happens, he will nod. And the Sept found out, or did he betray you?
They found out, and they wanted to kill him, and I put myself in front of him. They see it as I chose him over my Sept. So they they pulled me out of the way. They killed him and exiled me.
I see.
So
He'll
I
nod
make my
again.
home. I make my home in these woods. I appreciate you helping me.
What was your rank? Twist his head.
Adrian.
Adrian. He was actually quite surprised.
But after the punishment rites and ostracism, Cleoth now.
You're still ahead of me in rank. The wolf will kind of pat out its tongue.
She kind of sits down and looks at you mournfully. But I'll never advance again.
Why'd you say that?
Nobody wants to take in a Ronin. Wherever I go, my shame follows me.
There is a Sept you could join. And I'm sure the Den Mother and the others will accept you in. And you might be given the chance to redeem yourself.
She looks at you. What Sept?
Sept of the Howling Winds. Where I'm from.
They would do that?
I know if you go meet Dazzles, the young, she's the Den Mother there, Child of Gaia. She is a kind woman.
I've heard
Sept
of
Elf.
her. She's from There's a Sept over in San Francisco.
Woman. And she'd vouch for you if you told her you were sent by me. The Alpha, she's tough, but she's fair. Same with the Warder. Same with all of them. But it's a place where some of us go. Maybe some of us are a bit unconventional, but we aren't ourselves that way.
And you think that they would accept me?
I'd vouch for you.
Why?
You're telling the truth and you seem mournful for your actions. You're from and your deeds were with the best of intentions. However, many make mistakes, and you have paid the ultimate price for that mistake. Seems almost cruel to punish you further for it. A name like shames the nation only goes so far. I don't believe in casting out others aside.
You can see her tears in her eyes. Normal wolves don't cry, but Garu do. They stream down her face. Can I come with you?
Of course you can. I just have to finish my rite of passage, but once I'm done, we can come back to the sept together.
I'll wait for you then.
He'll nod.
Maybe if Protects the Weak will let me, I'll just stay here in the cave with him.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind. Lefty will just pat out his tongue again,
Protects the Weak is sitting there in the entrance of the cave. And though he can't understand the Garu tongue, he understands the body language and what's happening. And he just gives an approving nod.
What was your auspice? What's your auspice?
Theurge.
Theurge. I'm a Philodox.
She tenses at that a little bit.
I know. But, like I said, Philodoxes can be hard and cold, and some Philodoxes can be just and fair. I try to be a bit of both. My judgment is you can come back with us and earn your way back to not being called James the Nation. Being the proud Octena you are.
Octena renounced me.
And join a new tribe. Maybe join the same one I'm joining.
Children of Gaia.
Nod.
I haven't met many Children of Gaia, but from what I've seen, they're all very merciful.
Garu have the capacity for mercy. That's how we apply it. I can guarantee you come back, start as a cub, earn your way up. I'll make sure you're treated fairly, even if I am a Cleave, and Dazzles will, the Den Mother.
She'll give a lupus nod. Yeah. Better than being alone out here in the woods. I miss having a pack.
We're not meant to be alone. He'll just nod. He'll pat over and just give her like a dip of the head to the side, almost very comforting, if wolves can just pat against each other, basically.
Mm-hmm. She lays down on the cave floor and kind of leans into you, grateful for the comfort. And she falls asleep, obviously very exhausted from her ordeal. She'd been laying on those rocks for a little while. And she has a new hope. You all go to sleep.
Sleep very protective over her. Like, he almost like, very doting father, basically.
You all go to sleep in the cave. And Protects the Weak wakes you the next morning before Shames the Nation wakes up. And he's in his Hamid form.
Yeah, Lefty will relax up to Hamid, basically.
He'll say, it's time for us to part ways for now, but I trust you'll be coming back for her, yes?
A nod. I'll make sure she has a home to go to.
Good. Wolves don't tend to last long out here.
A nod. Our kind don't usually last long.
Yeah, especially alone. I've seen her a few times running around. She manages, but that's the second time she's had to be healed.
He'll smile over in at Shames. Maybe she was just looking for the right place to go to, I think.
Possible. You've done a good thing. But I think now it's time for us to part ways. See you when you have been recognized as a child of Gaia when you come collect her.
A nod. I can just give a very respectful nod to Protect the Weak. And walk over and some shames, and we'll head out to the cave to go finish this fostering challenge. Well, not fostering challenge, Rite of Passage, blah.
When you come out of the cave, you see the doves. And you can understand what they're saying. They're telling you to step sideways again.
And yeah, you will do so.
And you step sideways and continue on to the next part of your Rite of Passage. And this is where we will end part 1. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. See you next time.